are awake and getting started with their day. I see some pollen coming in. Big Mama is still on the eggs. Baby bunnies are getting bigger. Hi, Mama. My new hive is still busy setting up shop. As far as the humans go, it kind of comes and goes, that feeling of between calm and terrified. Kind of depending on how much time I spend with my father. It seems like the more time I spend in the Word and worshiping, singing, and making thankful lists, the easier it is for me to come out of that terrified place. But like I said, it still comes in waves. I am finally potting up my Tasmanian chocolate tomatoes in these 5-gallon firehouse sub buckets. And the fun thing about these is the proceeds to purchasing them goes to our local fire department to help them out and help families out of firefighters that have died in the line of duty. So that's awesome. All right, so I'm mixing up my soil mix, and let me just show you what I'm putting in there. I'm using some peat that I have, and then I really like this black cow manure. And then I'm gonna put in some perlite for drainage. Perlite is rock that when they heat it up, it kind of puffs up like popcorn, if you will. So it can absorb the water and hold it, and then it can also, you know, let the water drain out. So it's awesome for drainage and for holding water. So I'm definitely going to use some of that. This is the white stuff that you see in your potting mix. For a long time I thought that was fertilizer, but it's not. It's perlite. So I would say 3 parts peat, 3 parts cow manure, and then perlite. That is a great combination to use. It's a tough time right now because of the virus marching across our country. You might not be able to find all those things. So I also got some raised bed mix. This would also be a good thing to use. I would just stay away, since I'm doing containers, and even in my raised beds, I would stay away from like Miracle Grow products. They're coming out with some more organic things, but I would stay away from products with the fertilizer already in them, synthetic fertilizers, not organic fertilizers. And sometimes they have like moisture beads in there. I would stay away from those products, just because when you use the synthetic fertilizer, it can make the soil salty. It can build up salt in containers, and it can be harsh for the plant. So I just stay away from those. I go with the good old-fashioned cow manure, rabbit manure, composted chicken manure, and then something else to mix it with, like this. Our homestead dog is gonna enjoy that grass. She's made a game of it. This is the time of year when my schedule totally flips. In the winter time, I come out after school about 3 o'clock when it's nice and warm. So now that it's springtime in Dallas comes in pretty hot and heavy, as I've told you before. So now is my time to come out early in the morning before the sun comes up and greet the sunrise and hear the birds singing and just work in my garden. So I love that. And then go in and teach in the heat of the afternoon. So yeah, just take small steps every morning, and then sometimes I'll come out in the evening too and take another small step. Remember, you don't have to take great strides towards your goal as long as you're taking small steps in the right direction. Now that I've got my mix all stirred up, I want to talk fertilizer. Of course we're going to need fertilizer for our tomatoes. We want nitrogen and we also want phosphorus to make a bloom. This is great, well balanced. I'll leave a link in the description if you just want to order some of this. You could do blood meal for nitrogen and then bone meal for phosphorus and potassium. I do mealworm frass. I'm a big fan of organic things, so I raise mealworms, and so I don't have much left though. So I'm gonna do that. I'll leave a link in the description too about how I raise mealworms, and they feed my chickens a great protein-rich snack, and they also make good fertilizer for me. Now the best fertilizer known to man, in my opinion, is that black gold. That is vermicomposting, earthworm casting. So I'm gonna go for that this morning. So come with me and let's harvest some of that black gold from my vermicomposting bin together. Right here, you guys, is where I keep my vermicomposting bin. Let's pull it out and take a look. Now worms, red wigglers is what you need for your vermicomposting bin. And if you want to know how to set one up for yourself, I will leave a link to an article I wrote and where to order your worms and everything. I keep them outside under my potting shed. It's in a shady place for the summer, so it never gets direct sun. And then the winter, I live in kind of a mild climate, Dallas, Texas, so it usually doesn't get that bad. I usually take them in if it's gonna freeze for an extended period of time, just take them in my house for a few days. So I just kind of watch them that way. If you live in a northern climate that's a bit harsher than mine, I can see maybe keeping them in a barn, keeping your bin maybe covered with some straw, and then uncover it when you want to add the food, when you want to feed them and when you want to harvest them. So I think it could be doable in different situations, and then the summer probably wouldn't be as extreme for you, so you wouldn't have to worry about the summer heat getting them. So as you can see, I piled lots of food on this side of the bin so that they would hopefully move over here and start eating, start munching. I'm gonna harvest this side of the bin today. Unfortunately, there's still quite a few worms. So what I'll probably need to do is sift it. All right, we can do that. I made the sifter for this very reason. And I'll also link up to a little post I did about that. Let's get that black gold. Here it is, my pie of black gold. So this is ready to add to my new tomato containers to make them really take off. And no, it doesn't seem like a lot for that bin, but I harvested the whole bin, and this is how much I got. And from my understanding, I don't need a lot of it to add to my tomatoes to really help them to take off. I think I'm gonna try to add about 1/4 of a cup to each container. It might not seem like a lot, like I said, but it's just one piece of the puzzle to make my homestead more sustainable. Garden victory! Woo! You gotta water them all down because you can't plant in dry soil. It really is bad for the little bitty roots. When they reach out into that dry soil, they go, "No, help me!" Not a good start to your plant. Not a good beginning. Nala wants to get in on the action. She wants that water so bad. We're gonna use up the rest of our black gold on our beautiful tomato containers. We're now realizing that we should have picked them up and taken them to the front yard garden before we watered them. They're really heavy, but that's okay. That's what we have a wheelbarrow for. We can't leave them here because the chickens will come and unload all of them
and all we're hoping for not, and that's not gonna happen today. So, into the wheelbarrow they go, and into the front yard garden.